Hello, Paulo. How's it going today?
Good, good. How are you?
Doing well. Everybody, we have Paulo Salgueiro Jr. on Amá CONVERSA today, episode 18, Friday, March 12th, 2021. And everyone basically knows him more so as AKA João Cagão, the comedian of Massachusetts. So, Paulo, thank you so much for being here today with me. Can you please let us know a little bit about yourself? I already said your name. Can you tell us where you're from, your age, and what inspired this João Cagão character?
Sure. Well, first, thank you for having me, and thank you for you know letting me be a part of your show. My name is Paulo Salgueiro Jr. Like you said, from Massachusetts, and 26, turning 27 in March, March 27th. Shout out to the Aries. Yeah, the inspiration behind the character João Cagão, it was essentially. I mean, I always loved comedy growing up, right? And I do tons of impressions, and my family and friends were just like, "Dude, why don't you put this online one day?" And at the time, I was involved in politics and stuff like that, so I was like, I don't know if I really want to post it because I didn't want someone to try to say, I wasn't a serious person or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not doing anything wrong. So I went along and posted several videos. Some of them I posted maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4. And then eventually when I started doing the character João Cagão, it took off in the sense a few videos got us several more shares than others. And then but the inspiration behind the character was ultimately comedy to begin with, and then to pay homage to Portuguese immigrants, specifically Azorean. But if you're an immigrant or know anyone that's an immigrant, you can pretty much relate to the things that João Cagão rants about or talks about or discusses. So.
Yes, 100%. So basically, you're just trying to shine a light not only on our culture, but as immigrants in general, right? The Azorean immigrants specifically. And I definitely enjoy your show, very hilarious. And I definitely can see a direct similarity to João Cagão and the real Joãos of the world, right? But so you're from Massachusetts and your family is originally from the Azores. So where in the Azores is your family originally from? And when did they immigrate to Massachusetts, or is that the first place that they went to and stayed? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my mother's from the island of São Miguel, Freguesia de Covoada, which is right next to Rocha. Rocha is like one of the bigger freguesias or villages rather in St. Michael. It might be the largest land. It doesn't have the most population, but largest land-wise, I think, is Rocha. But Covoada is about, I don't know, it's literally like 2 streets. They even say Rua de Covoada because it's pretty short. But my mother's from Covoada, and then my father's from Terceira, the island of Terceira.
Woohoo!
And he's from Praia de Victoria. And so I've never been to Terceira, but that's where my father comes from. They immigrated to Rhode Island in the late 70s, and then eventually made Massachusetts home afterwards. So
nice. And so do you have any siblings? I don't think I've ever asked you that question.
I do. I have a younger brother and I have an older sister.
Nice, because I noticed you have a cute little niece in some of your photos. So I was like, where did she come from? She's so cute.
Yeah, I have my younger brother, Sean, my older sister, Alexandra, and then my niece is Aria. She is my sister's daughter. So
very cute. And another thing, so you mentioned that you were in politics. So I know you were a political candidate. And when you were doing that, can you let us know around what year was that? And was it the same time as the João Cagão? Like literally, it was kind of around that same exact time, right?
I was a candidate. I ran for city council and I ran for state representative in Mass. I was getting my was getting my bachelor's when I ran for city council. I was getting my master's when I ran for state rep. So
Got it.
my master's degree, if I had to be like 2017 going into 18, I think, because João Cagão was afterwards.
So João Cagão started kind of like in 2019?
Yeah, I think the first video was probably 2019.
Okay. And then that leads me into my next question. So do you know how many videos you've done? And do you know what was the highest reach?
Oh, I'm probably, I mean, I think cooking episodes, I think I've done like 20 just in general. So it's probably around maybe 50 some odd videos. And I think the largest reach was over 100 something thousand on one that I did teaching people. João Cagão was mad that people didn't wear their masks properly.
The one that you did in the car, right? I definitely do remember that one. He was definitely ranting and raving. But anywho, so you love to cook. This leads me, but let me back up real quick. So you did 50 videos in 1 year. Congratulations. That's really fantastic. And the highest reach, you said, was over 100,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember how long did it take you to get to 100,000 views on that specific video?
Specifics, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, that video got a lot of shares relatively quickly, to be honest. So it wasn't, I don't think it, maybe.
Which video was it, by the way? Because I've seen most of them.
The 100,000 one was me in the car ranting about going to Walmart, people with their masks.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. You just said that. And so you love to cook, and those videos get a lot of positive responses. I love those videos myself. And you not only are very good at cooking, you have your own Portuguese product line, João Cagão, that I am your client, and I literally love everything that I got. Every single thing that I got, I love it. It really, the spices and the marinades really help and enhance the flavor extremely. And I love the snacks. The snacks were the bomb. The tremoço, like the dry tremoço. Oh my God, so good. So can you talk a little bit about your product line? How did the idea come about? When did it originate? And are you still pushing the line?
Yeah, so it started with the cooking episodes kind of segued into the product line. My thing was, I want my videos, my cooking episodes are, at least my goal behind them is to literally make it as simple as possible, as fun as possible, to learn how to cook a traditional Portuguese or Azorean dish.
Yes.
So that was the goal behind them. I started doing, camarão, shrimp Mozambique, polvo, octopus.
I haven't eaten lunch yet, by the way.
So
but continue.
Yeah, so it started with those. We did a bunch of codfish episodes.
Yes.
A bunch of different things. And then, that segued into kind of people would reach out. They loved the episodes. They always wanted to learn how to cook. And I don't get really too specific with measurements because I literally said how I wanted to learn was just tell me the ingredients.
That's the Portuguese way, my friend. You just eyeball it, right?
Well, the thing is, I always said, if people like something spicier, well, it doesn't make any sense because now you're going to put more hot sauce or more crushed pepper or whatever. So yeah. My thing is I kind of give everyone the ingredients. They make it.
The basics.
Yeah, and I teach them how I make it, how I saute certain things. And then people reached out. They loved it, though they wanted to learn specific things. And then the line started with, I started with, I have fava, pumpkin seeds.
Those two snacks I got, and I like them both.
Yeah, so I'm a big fava guy, so I love the favas.
That's what I got, favas, not tremos, favas. Yes, yeah. That was really, really good.
And then we did hot crushed pepper, Portuguese marinade, and 2 seasonings, a minha moda, and then carne no espeto, which is basically any Portuguese feast, when you have meat on a shish kebab, it's that season.
That's the one that I got, and I got the marinade too. I didn't use it with the carne spit. I just use it regular, like on pork chops or literally chicken, anything, and it's so good. It's so freaking good.
Thank you. So it was, I enjoy those episodes because, one, I enjoy cooking, and it's recipes that I've learned from my mother or my grandmother or even my great-grandmother that taught them. So
very special.
Yeah, it means a lot to me to continue that. So, and, I wanted to share it with an audience. So,
you know what I'm going to have to do now? I'm going to have my own designated book. I have tons of these. My own designated book. I'm going to watch every single cooking episode of yours, and I'm going to write everything down in my cookbook. Well, and I'm not kidding you, because my poor husband, it will be 5 years in February together, 4 years married. And I commend him for sticking with me, because I'm not the best cook. I really am not. But I love to eat. I mean, hello. But yeah, sometimes I make great things, sometimes not so much. But I'm already getting to that point that everything that I do make is eatable. In the beginning, not so much. So I thank you for your videos. Thank you so much for that.
No worries. I mean, if anyone's ever watching them, I do the videos in a way that you can literally cook along with him, with João Cagão. So literally, as I'm doing a step, you can pause that video, and it's not going to mess up your recipe, because I do everything in order the same way.
Fantastic. So. Well, thank you for doing that for us. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about was this past October, so just a few short months ago, you had your first stand-up shows, and shows with an S, correct? You had more than one. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so we did 2 shows. We did one it was at EP18 over here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
And you know that I love that hall, by the way.
EP18 is a good hall.
The upstairs is a dream. I almost passed out when I went upstairs. We'll talk about that after. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, no, it's a great place, not just food-wise, but what they do in our community to promote, our culture. So we did a show there. It sold out, and then people were calling for more. So then we did another show. I don't know if it was the week after or.
Are you kidding me? So like you did a second show on the fly type of a thing? Like you ready to go for a second round 2?
Yeah, we did. We did shows. So I don't know if it was back-to-back weeks or there was a week in between or something.
But still, I mean, you didn't have that anticipated, and you got another one because the response was so overwhelmingly positive, you know?
Yeah, João Cagão, he's always ready to go, no matter what it is. So, what happened?
Ele tá pronto pra guerra, right?
You want to, I do too. You want full whatever, I do anything.
Oh my God. And I'm sure that accent or that character, you started off doing that way before you ever even started João Cagão, right?
Yeah, right? I was doing Portuguese accents for, I can't remember. I mean, I would impersonate family members or friends, and then I can literally I'm pretty good at impersonating pretty much anything. I mean, I can watch a movie or,
Do my favorite impersonation, brother.
Oh, man. Well, who is it? Oh, you said I favorite? Oh, okay. I mean, I do, the thing is, like, I remember the first time I saw Scarface, right?
Oh, my God.
I worked at a pizza place growing throughout high school, mostly. And I saw Scarface, and I mean, that impression stuck with me for about 2 weeks solid of working, to the point where people, like, answer the phone like that. And I looked at my boss. I was like, can I do that?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
So it was pretty funny. So when my boss said it was okay, I started answering the phones as Tony Montana, and then
dude, amazing.
Yeah, and then it was funny because one customer called, and I forget what, he was a regular, and I had my regular voice, and he goes, "Dude, I'm so disappointed." And he's like, I go, "Why? What's wrong?"
Tony Montana.
He's like, "I was really expecting Tony Montana today," and I was like,
that's hilarious.
I love stand-up. I love impressions. And that's kind of.
You do another one that I like a lot, which is we are big football fans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you already know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, John Gruden. He started. Oh man, because I played football growing up, Pop Warner High School, and then I had the opportunity to play a year in college. So I love
Fantastic.
football, and Gruden was one of those characters that, I mean, I feel like
He is a character, right?
So he was always, it's kind of simple to do it. If you kind of have to crunch your eyes and do his voice. So it's almost like, I don't know if the viewers will know John Gruden, but.
Oh, come on. If they're my peoples, they will know. They will know.
John Gruden is more of, I'll tell you what, man. You know the Raiders, man? We love football, man.
Dang, and you even had to take off the hat to do it, too.
Well, I wish I have a NFL visor somewhere, but it wasn't.
Oh, my gosh. So next time when I have you on, we'll have to talk about NFL.
Yeah. That sport had a tremendous impact on me and my life growing up. So.
Yes. And sorry to have an interview on steroids, but I am trying to keep track of the time. I could talk to you forever. I know you were also a radio host and you've also done work in TV. So can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, radio. I did local radio. I'm from Attleboro, Massachusetts. So I did a local radio show where I'd interview different professionals, and the goal was to educate the community on various topics through interviews with those professionals. So I would have.
Is that kind of what we're doing here?
Yeah, it was pretty similar. I mean, I would interview different directors from nonprofit organizations. I would interview, different politicians, comedians, and it was pretty good. We have a few. I got some pretty decent guests, so it was.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And was this from a radio app, or where exactly was this? And is there anything that people can view today, or was this literally just on air? There's nothing to go back and see, or what can we do if we wanted to go back and see that?
Yeah, so it was literally a radio station. So we had basically, I don't know how California system is, but in Massachusetts, almost every single community has a local access cable, and they cover, your city functions, your education, whatnot.
Yes.
So ours have a radio station combined. So we had different TV shows, part of, and radio stations. So if they typed in, on YouTube, the Paulo Salgueiro show, you could find different interviews that I did.
And Paulo, when exactly was this? Because I'm gonna go back and do my little digging. So when was this show?
I mean, that started probably after I ran, or maybe during it.
Okay. 2018, 19?
Yeah, probably around there.
Okay.
We have a good amount of episodes are on YouTube. So we interviewed, I interviewed Tom Dreesen, who was a stand-up comedian who opened for Frank Sinatra for 14 years.
Wow.
He was one of my favorite guests.
That's probably a remarkable interview that you will never forget, right?
Yeah, it's 2 hours long. We did entire 2 hours, and then I interviewed.
I could probably talk to that man for 2 hours too.
Yeah, he was a good one. And then one of my favorites was former Senate President William Bolger, who is his brother was the infamous Whitey Bulger in Massachusetts, but William Bolger was the Senate President of the Massachusetts, and he's also the longest ever Senate President in the state.
And so this leads me now to my next question. Do you want to be involved with politics again? Do you see yourself running for a position ever again? What is your stance on that?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I love my comedy and see where that takes us. So,
yes,
from there. But I mean, I'm always involved in my community. I'm on different boards of directors for nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always in my head whether or not I want to run. So we'll take it from there.
Maybe one day you could be our president.
Well, who knows?
That would be amazing. So going back to Mesa Terceira, because the listeners are probably wondering, what am I talking about when I said, because it sounds kind of mysterious what I said, the upstairs. It's so amazing. It made me want to pass out. Well, I went to Mesa Terceira. The year was 2016, and I went with our dance group for Carnival, and we had the pleasure of performing at that hall. And we did several, but that hall to me really stands out, not only because it is very well-known place, but you're right, they do have amazing food. They cooked for us. It was amazing, amazing soup, and they had a bunch of things. I don't remember exactly everything, but I know we had like a caldo verde. There was some beans involved, some meat involved, and it was all very, very good. And then after that, we sang. And at that time, I'm not sure who still is the president, but the president, was a poet. So I'm not sure if it's the same Senor, but he recited one of his poems before we did our dance, because the mestra that accompanied me, Felicia Arruda, that also contributed to our project together that we did this past July, which was Cheira Bem, Cheira Nossa Cultura. And she wrote my portion of the lyrics to that song, and you wrote your portion. So the president of Amix Terceira was very good friends with her father, who passed away. His name was Daniel Arruda, and he's a very, very well-known man in the cantoria world, and I know you love cantorias. And he was also a writer. He wrote poems, books, and he wrote dances as well. So they were friends, so it was kind of a little bit emotional. He recited the poem, and it was more emotional because obviously he had Felicia there, and Felicia is the daughter of Danielle. And I remember I felt like a spiritual presence at that hall, honestly, and we did a very good job. It was kind of like an extra push, you know? So we did a very good job, and before we actually played the dance, we were upstairs getting dressed for the dance, right? And that's what I noticed that whoever did this, I don't know if it was the president or somebody before, but it was mostly like all Amalia stuff, like Amalia Rodrigues and like father things. So when we went up there to change, I was like, what is this? Like I had never been to a hall that had a room dedicated to Amalia. So I would definitely like to go there again and see that like with more detail and more careful, because obviously we're getting dressed really fast and we got to go, but I would like to go there again and see everything. Do they still have that today?
Yeah,
Okay,
yep. There's
cool.
huge pictures of Amalia Rodrigues up there. The hall does. I mean, they do a great job, food-wise, providing all the different events that they've done throughout the years. So there's tons of history there to
Yes.
even through photos and past presidents and whatnot. It's a great environment to be in.
And a fun fact here, my father, when he came to the United States in the 80s, the first place that he ended up was the East Coast. And I forget the name of the place, but I always want to say Peabody. Peabody is where he stayed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That's not too far away from you guys, right?
Peabody's a little ways.
A little ways.
That might be probably almost pushing an hour or so, at least from where I am.
Okay,
But,
okay.
yeah,
And
over
then,
here.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say over here, that New Bedford, Fall River,
Yes.
Rhode Island. Those are pretty predominantly Portuguese.
Yes. And then just to wrap it up here, Paulo, what are some of your accomplishments and what are some future goals that you would like to conquer?
Oh man, my accomplishments.
Just a few. I know there's a lot. Just a few.
I just don't know what to consider accomplishment. I think finishing college.
Don't be modest. Don't be modest.
I think finishing, and on a serious note, I think my education was a pretty good accomplishment.
100%.
I think it means I'm a firm believer in education in our lives. I think it's the backbone to our community. And I think it truly improves our well-being, being educated and knowing, how to decipher certain information and whatnot. So you learned a lot.
Yes,
So that
I
was a
agree
good,
with you.
I think, and then the other part was one of my goals. Is that what it was?
Yeah, what are some of your future goals?
I'd like to continue with my comedy. Probably, that's one of the big things. I have a lot of different pieces of content that I'm working on for this year. So that's going to be a good goal. And just to be a better person, a good son, a good uncle, those are
Oh,
the stuff I strive to do every
of
day.
course. I mean, we always looking for improvement and bettering ourselves little by little, right? All the time. And then one thing more before we leave.
Sure.
Where can the people find your products to purchase? The João Cagão line.
Yeah, so if they look up João Cagão on Facebook or on Instagram, my profiles are there. The pictures are there of all the items. If anyone's ever interested in anything, you can always send me a message. We're in the process of, getting more stuff up and stuff like that. So, but I communicate with everybody. So if you just send me a message on one of those profiles, either me or someone else will get in contact with them. So.
Sounds great. And I was really impressed with your packaging because some of the things come in glass, right? So I was really impressed with your packaging and everything came in a very timely manner. So thank you again. I know it's not the easiest when you're juggling a lot of things. So I appreciate
that's shout out to my mom. She's
she's amazing.
Professional at that stuff.
As soon as I opened it, I was like, oh dang, put the extra care and time into this. That's very appreciative.
That's Mama Salgueiro.
Well, shout out to Mama Salgueiro. She's a real MVP for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Paulo, thank you again so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I appreciate you so much for doing this interview with Amá CONVERSA. And I really, really, really want to see you come to California and do a show. Then after California, the next order of business would be Hawaii. Aloha.
Yeah. we have a following in Hawaii as well. And it's just, I'm always amazed at just the states or countries that I see Portuguese people in, because they'll message and say, greetings from,
yes,
South Africa or Hawaii or whatnot.
It's really mind-blowing, right? And not only mind-blowing, but it's humbling, because sometimes we feel, at least for me, sometimes I feel like a misfit within my own community. So when I get to, sorry, I was about to cough. I've been holding it in. So when I get to connect with other people from other states that not necessarily have a presence, like a Portuguese presence like I have here in San Jose or what have you, it just makes me really humbled that they care about our culture so much, and they have to go even further. They have to go the extra mile to connect, whereas me and you, we have our communities literally outside our front door, but with them, they are feeling that saudade, they're feeling that longing. And so when they connect with you or I, it's humbling, because I feel honored that I can share a piece of that with them as well. So I feel a really strong bond and connection to people from, even if it's a Portuguese person that's like in a community that they're kind of all alone, I feel even more for them. And like, for example, in Hawaii, when we get to go in the future, you're going to be blown away by the community there, because they're just so appreciative of people like me and you that are, either second or first generation. And they're like fifth or sixth generation, and they really are looking for people like us to connect with, and you're going to be really blown away. I met some amazing, amazing people that are still really good friends of mine, and I just keep continuing to grow that bond with them, and it's really a beautiful thing to see. I have a friend named Irene from Hawaii that I met this past February, the last time we went before the complete shutdown. And yeah, she's fifth generation Portuguese, but if you see her house, she has so many Portuguese things. She is super dedicated to the culture, And to me, that is beautiful. I love that. And I want to see more of that. I want to discover more of that. I want to meet more people like that. And there's a whole, like, Aladdin, a whole new world. It's like a whole new world for me out there. But
No,
it's been really fun connecting.
I don't know if I could live somewhere that didn't have, a Portuguese bakery or Portuguese products. And
Yeah.
I mean, when I used to, I get messages from people all the time, like, I wish I could buy this or that. And I'm like, oh, I'll carry it. And it helps because then they can have a certain product or whatever that I carry that they haven't had,
Yes, that is a really good point. Because I have had messages from people like, oh, we don't have sumo here, or we don't have pop six here, and all this stuff, and blah blah blah. So I definitely sympathize with them, because I too, I literally can just go down 5 minutes away. I have L&F Fish Market right there, and I have everything for me. And there's plenty of other places, Bacalhau Grill, Padaria Popular. I mean, we have a lot of different places here in San Jose, just like Massachusetts has.
Sure.
But we will get to explore more places. Don't you worry. We are still young. We have a lot of years left inside. I hope.
Hey.
Gee whiz, man.
Knock on wood.
I know, knock on wood. Well, thank you again so much, and I appreciate your time, and I very much look forward to see what else that you have in store for us.
Absolutely. Well, I'd stay tuned because I know you mentioned too writing down recipes, so I would
yes,
stick around for this year. There might be
and I want you to hold me to the fire to that, because I am going to do that, and you're going to be impressed with me.
Well, I'm telling you, I would probably wait off because this year João might be coming out with a cookbook. So.
Oh, you are a friend. Okay, thank you. You saved it. You
in the
saved
works,
me like 5 hours there.
It's in the works. So I'm telling you, this year is going to be. I'm really excited for this year. I know there's
2021, brother.
I mean, I know there's a lot going on, and a lot of families are struggling. So
yes,
I can provide some comedy relief, and there's a lot of different things that we're going to be doing with content-wise for João. So this year is going to be a pretty good year for at least comedic videos.
Nice.
On Facebook. And
man, I know I don't want to let you go. I have one more question. I keep getting more questions for you.
I have all the time. Whatever.
So are you the one that manages all your platforms, or have you already gotten to a point that you need somebody else to help you manage everything?
I mean, I don't have a paid staff or anything, but I have some people that would assist with some of my pages. Because I do a lot of different things in the community too. So I have like different Facebook pages, but the João is probably one of the busiest ones that I have.
Got it.
But generally, if people are getting responses, it's from João Cagão for the most part.
And I'm sure they get excited to know that, right?
Yeah. And
a lot of people have other, admins helping them out with a lot of their messages, or just,
it's something,
interaction.
Yeah, it's something I'm passionate about. So most of the time, it's always probably almost all the time me messaging people or commenting, unless someone else is handling my page. But I always said, when I did sports, like I couldn't stand athletes who couldn't, give someone an autograph or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, the community and your followers is what makes you. So you can take, that hour out of your day to comment back, to reply,
yes.
or say thank you for, I
100%. And that's exactly how I feel too. I definitely like to be personal and try to get to everybody. Some days are quicker than others, obviously, but I am a mom, so sometimes that can get kind of busy.
No, it's all good. I mean, I love, and we don't realize kind of what we say or a video, how much of an impact that can have on someone.
Yes, 100%. Sorry, Apollo, I get too excited.
No, don't be sorry at all. I'm just saying, like, sometimes I'll get messages from someone that says, I really needed this. I was in a bad place. And we don't realize kind of the impact that we have in this world. So
I think that 2020 has definitely brought that to light, and we're beginning to be more in tune with that, more sensitive with that. At least I think we are. I too have received some messages like that, and it once again is humbling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just really, it feels really good when somebody puts their happiness in your hands, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good metaphor because that's kind of how I feel sometimes. And it's a beautiful thing to connect with others, whether it be through connecting with your comedy, or connecting through food, or connecting through artwork, or connecting through music. It's just a beautiful thing. And I thank the internet for this all, or else we wouldn't even be friends, you know.
Yeah. No,
So
the internet, and so I always say social media, we see a lot of hurtful things sometimes, but it also can be used in a great manner. I mean,
yes.
I've met so many people in our Portuguese community virtually that I'm friends with them on social media and everything. And sometimes I'm like, well, this person's a better friend than some of the people I've known for, 15, 20 years.
Yes, that is so true. Like you, we met, I'm not quite sure when it was, but I think it was in the very beginning of the coronavirus quarantine. I believe it was around April or May. And ever since then, we've definitely maintained, I don't say we talk every week, but we definitely at least talk every month. We're very involved and supportive with each other. And honestly, I love connecting with people like you. You're the best person to connect with because you are supportive. But not only that, like me and you, we go on one-on-one and we talk to each other and we give each other advice. I mean, you've given me plenty of advice to me, which I thank you dearly. And so you are not alone. I have met so many amazing people through social media, just like you're saying. And sometimes they end up being a better friend than somebody you know for 15 years in
Sure.
person or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's been fantastic few months. It's not even a full year yet. And the connections that I've made with people are mind-blowing. I feel like it happened at a perfect time because maybe if it happened before coronavirus, maybe people wouldn't have been as open or responsive.
Sure.
But I think that this whole coronavirus too has opened our eyes in a different way, and people are just moved. Like they're different. They're ready to talk with people. They're ready to connect just because, I mean, we're in our house. We don't have much else to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I want to say one thing before I forget, and
Yes.
if there's anyone out there considering comedy or music or anything of that nature, and I just say go for it and post the video of whatever you want to, whether it be singing a song or if it's trying out a new joke, because the audience is huge on social media, and we don't know until we try it. So it was part of the comedy. I mean, I always had a feeling I was kind of funny, but you're always hesitant because you never want to. It's not you don't want to be too confident, or I guess if that makes sense. But you're always kind of worried. I always feel like any artist is always their worst critic anyway.
Yes, and you know I am as well. Like I really nitpick myself every little thing.
Yeah,
But I think
I
we
think
have
it's
to
good
do
at
that.
the same time though, because it just shows that we care about the content that we put out there, and I also think that's important too, because if you're an artist, if you don't believe in your content, then you shouldn't be putting it out there for other people as well. So until you've put your heart and soul into it, until you felt that you're, 100%. I always said when I look at my videos and my content, I'm always like, would I be proud of this joke or content if it were to be, on a show and that was the example they give you, same
Yeah,
thing with a song. So
that's very good.
if you put your heart and soul into a song, singing it vocally, if it doesn't come out as perfect as you'd like, then I wouldn't be publishing that, right? So
100%. Yeah, and me, I'm the most pickiest person in the world. I do it, and I do it 20 times if I have to, and then
yeah,
I post it.
yeah, because I mean, we want to be proud of that content, and it's also
Yes.
putting it out there for the world. So if you're not proud of it, then I wouldn't post it. But I always tell people, just post content. If you want to get into comedy, if you want to get into music, painting, whatever that niche is that they want to work on as
Yeah.
an artist, because there's a lot of people out there that would appreciate all that people do, but vice versa, there's going to be people that don't. So that's expected as well. right? There's always going to be a critic. There's always going to be, quote, a hater. So focus on the good people and the positivity.
Yes, because there's so much more good that outweighs the bad. And I think that's why people don't put their first foot forward when they are going to divulge this talent or interest that they have. The number one fear is literally the haters. That's literally the only fear typically that people have that hinders them, because I was one of those people for many, many, many years, specifically like 10 years. So it took me a long time. So I definitely like your message, because don't wait 10 years like me, just start now, you know? So I definitely do appreciate that. For anyone listening, literally just let your heart speak, and all good things come after that. If you're just honest with yourself and you let your heart speak, you're good. If you're just putting up a front, everyone can see, it's not going to work very well. So.
And patience. It's patience too, because it takes time. You're not going to gain a huge following overnight.
Yes.
Years and years to
grow and accumulate, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a comedian once told me too, and I believe it 100%. I tell people the same thing: to not compare yourself to anybody. You just compare yourself to you.
Sorry,
right?
I'm looking all weird right now because somebody is cleaning my front window and my husband's not home.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. You can clean my car too while you're at it.
But no, I would say, not to compare yourself to anybody else. Compare yourself to you.
Yes.
And I think the rest follows. So, but yeah, if I could say a message out to any aspiring artist, would be that. So.
Oh, well, thank you, Paulo. That is much appreciated. I would definitely piggyback on that and agree with Paulo 100%. Don't wait till next year. Don't wait till your baby's 5 or 10. Just start now, because as we've known and learned from this whole 2020, our life is so precious. We don't know if we'll be here tomorrow or next week. So I would just say, whatever you're thinking in your head that is usually taking up most of the space and time, that is your true calling right there. So I would say hone in a little bit on that and focus some energy on that, and you're going to be so happy. And the universe actually rewards you back when you do this, when you actually reflect on your purpose and you live your life full of intent. The universe rewards you back. I know I sound like a fucking weird. Oh, I just said my first cuss word on air. Oh my God.
We have to edit that one out.
It had to be with the comedian. Okay, we're all adults. It'll be okay. But yes, I got so nervous with the F word. I forgot what I was saying.
There it is.
Oh, yes, people. I cuss. Sorry.
hit the editing button. Well, you're gonna have to put like a funny sound for that.
Oh my God. Yes.
Put like a malasada that pops up during it or something like that.
Yes. A malasada.
Yeah.
A flying malasada.
Yeah, it's it,
But yes, I do agree with you. And thank you again, Paulo, for being here. And before I say any more cuss words, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And it's been fantastic talking with you.
Thank you for having me, and best of luck as you continue on with the show. And
thank you so much.
And whatnot. So good. Best
I
of luck.
appreciate you. Thank you. Any last words, João Cagão?
Well, if João was to say something, he always ends his videos with it. And he would say, remember, João loves you, Juiz loves you, God bless.
God bless. All right. Thank you, brother. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
You too. See you.